Hello, folks. This is RogueMogul. Just on my way to work here on this miserable stretch of Wade Avenue. I don't know if you can tell or not, the bike probably sounds a little different because I have reverted back to the stock exhaust. The reason why I did that is because the motorcycle had just been having a multitude of fueling weirdness. I'm not going to say issues, it was just weirdness. Lots of stumbling. Really falling flat on its face right off idle, so getting away from stoplights was a little weird. And after a time, I started to suspect that maybe it was the aftermarket exhaust that was doing it. I had a feeling that opening up the exhaust kind of created a leaner condition that the fueling system couldn't compensate for. And of course, if you start running things too lean, they start running really hot, and then you start running into engine problems. So just on a whim, I was like, it takes half an hour to swap out exhausts. Because really we're just talking about the can, the end part. So I did that and went for a ride and was immediately surprised that the motorcycle had improved fueling right off idle, such that taking away from stoplights was so much nicer. A lot less of feathering the clutch and sort of trying to get it to move before it would really kind of go. Also, a lot of the stumbling is gone. The part throttle stumble and then the off-on stumble that it had. And plus, after looking at it, Ducati really did a good job with the aesthetic design of the muffler. And I've kind of noticed this as a trend with everything on this motorcycle, that I tried changing out the tail for a tidy tail because I thought maybe the tail that was sticking off the end of this thing was a little ridiculous. And after a while, I got to thinking that didn't look right. The shortened tail just didn't look right. So I put the stock one back on. Same with the mirrors. I tried some underbar mirrors, but really they just didn't perform very well. And these mirrors perform great. I may still throw some Rizoma money at these, although that's a lot of money for mirrors. But yeah, I ended up putting these mirrors back on. And now the same thing is true for the exhaust. Tried an aftermarket exhaust, it was louder. It was carbon fiber, so it kind of had that cool look to it, but it was a little bit stubbier than the stock one. And to be honest, it just sat at a funny angle that to me didn't really look right with the lines of the motorcycle. So now I got the stock one back on. So either I'm indecisive as shit, or these are just things these are things when you don't think about when you buy a quote-unquote premium brand. Maybe they've already thought about all of this for you. Plus, I'm not that upset about having a motorcycle that's just a little bit quieter. Because I think, like I said, in my initial ride of this motorcycle, right after I bought it, I was like, I might get an exhaust or I might not. It doesn't bother me to have a motorcycle that might be a little bit quieter because everything I own is super loud. So yeah, that's all that stuff. The only thing I might do is save up the ungodly amount of money that it would cost to get the Ducati Hypermotard exhaust with the up map, because I've heard people say that all of the weird fueling shit completely disappears with the up map. I'll have to go back and reread all those threads on the Ducati forum, but it's just something that maybe you have to accept. Maybe Ducati got it right. I'm beginning to think so more and more, or maybe I just like what Ducati did. It's all open to personal preference. Some people may think the stock exhaust looks atrocious. I sort of did when I first got it, but after changing it out, I was kind of like, I miss the look of the stock exhaust. What can you do? It's hard to tell because today's a little bit of a cooler day, but I do kind of think that the engine's not putting out quite as much heat as it had with the other exhaust, which I think also is because it's not running quite as lean. These are all good things. Still runs like a fucking rape tape. And sounds pretty good. It's just not mind-numbingly loud. This lady is trying so desperately hard to get over in the next lane. Talk about afraid of driving. There you go. After 50 million head checks, you finally got it. Well, that's going to do it for me, folks. Thanks for taking this ride with me. You have been awesome. I've just been riding a motorcycle. If you have anything you want to add to this conversation, please do. Please do so down in the comment section below. Talk to you next time.